Hi everyone, it's Daniel Chin, the founder of Chin Properties and Chin Property Advisors Brokerage, and also the author of the Manifested Millionaire book, which you have seen in my previous videos. Now today, I would like to really answer the question for a lot of the new entrepreneurs, when you're starting off as an entrepreneur, the first thing I would say is you gotta be ready for a whole lot of things that you've never experienced in your life, because deciding to be an entrepreneur is one of the toughest jobs you will ever have in your life, because you ain't gonna have a life. You're gonna be constantly trying to figure out, okay, how are you gonna survive, how are you gonna make money, and how are you gonna actually build a business, how are you gonna get known, how are you gonna get clients, and how are you going to really become successful or a bit more established to a point where you got the plane off the ground, and you really sort of get things going. So basically, it really is a very tough job, and you're not gonna know a lot of things when you get started, and it really does help. What can really help you is to having at least a foundation, or at least a framework. So at least you know, okay, what is the vision? Why did you start the business? And what's the goal that you want to achieve? Is it to really help humanity, to make the world a better place? You want to improve people's lives? Like, for example, I started Chin Properties. It was really because what I realized is that there weren't many high quality apartments in Hamilton, Ontario. And I started a company to really improve these properties, to provide high quality apartments, and of course to have much better service, right, to these tenants, to and hopefully I do a good job and a much better job. And of course, in turn, it improves people's lives, because if your quality of life is much higher, of course you're gonna have a much better life, instead of living in an apartment that's not good and it's full of problems. So there was a need that I filled. So being an entrepreneur, you have to find what do people really need, and what problems can you really solve, and how can you help people. It ain't too much about you starting a business with the first thing in mind to make money, and to make a lot of money, and driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Bugattis. That's not really why you start a business. But of course, if what you're doing and you're doing it very successfully and you make a lot of money, of course you enjoy, you reap those rewards, and it's okay to treat yourself if you want to buy yourself an ice cream or something, whatever makes you happy. So when you're starting off, you got to have a framework and a foundation, and what I've learned, what have helped me greatly, is when I read a book called Principles from Ray Dalio, and there was a 5-step process when it comes to helping you to get what it is you want in life. And the 5 simple steps are: 1, you have to have clear goals, which I find is very powerful, that I've written in the Manifested Millionaire book, the importance of goal setting. So having clear goals. Number 2, you have to identify and don't tolerate problems that stand in the way of achieving those goals. So you got to know what is the problems from where you are to where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. So the third thing is you have to diagnose those problems down to the root cause. So if you know what's the problem, if you lack knowledge, you lack capital, you lack knowing people or lack network. Okay, so what's the root cause and what you're gonna do, right? So the fourth step is you have to design a plan on how you're gonna get around those problems. If you don't know anybody in the business when you're starting off, then okay, pick up the phone or get off your bum. You go out there, you meet people, go to these networking events, see who's already doing it, and get to know them, pick their brains, take them out for coffee or lunch, and you figure things out as an entrepreneur. And of course, fifthly, as I mentioned, you have to do what's necessary to push through your designed plan through to results. So you have to do the doing part in order to really actually see results. And that 5 steps, right, is what really helps you to at least have a framework or process when it comes to everything. You got the goals, you got the diagnosing of the problems, you got the designing a plan, and then of course the doing part, to help you to figure things out when you're starting off. So that is one. And then the other thing, what I would say, the mindset of an entrepreneur, right? You either have sanity or insanity, right? So hopefully it's not, like Einstein said, if you keep doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result, right, then that's a definition of insanity, I believe, right? You're gonna drive yourself nuts, okay? But you got to at least have a very clear mind for making decisions. And once the mind is clear, you can actually see a lot of things more clearly in order to make much better decisions, because you can think much better. And 3 things what I realize, or for me what I would say, being an entrepreneur, 1, you're always constantly improving, which is like personal development or investing in yourself. And secondly, you're constantly creating value for others. And thirdly, you're constantly working on the next thing, right? After you climb one mountain, you have to climb another mountain. And you're always constantly working on the next thing. And I think that's what really keeps you going. It gives you the drive, probably keeps you young, and and of course keeps your energy level very high, because you actually love what it is you're doing as an entrepreneur. So hopefully a lot of these things what I said today, it does make sense. And when you're starting off as an entrepreneur, and what's really the mindset of an entrepreneur, and hopefully can help you at least think about things when you're getting started, and figure out things on how to really achieve what it is you want to achieve when you're trying to build a business. So thank you very much for listening, and it's always a pleasure making these videos for you. So thank you very much.